Hey friends, I'm Chris Schufel with Chris in the Classroom, and today I'm talking to all the adults in the room. As many of you know, I was a teacher for well over a decade, and I'm also a parent. And there were so many times where a student would come to me with a problem that I either didn't think I had time to help them with, or I didn't feel equipped to help them with. So I would do what a lot of teachers unfortunately do. I'd either send the student to the counselor, I would give them some kind of a quick, unhelpful piece of advice, or I would almost just kind of blow them off completely. But it wasn't until one interaction with a seventh grade student that changed my entire view on things. You see, Maddie was a seventh grader in one of my classes, and she came to me one day and she said she was having just some teenage problems. So I thought for a second, thinking back to all those staff trainings that I had sat through. You know the ones. The ones that, if you're just going to read the PowerPoint, just email me the stinking PowerPoint. Or my theory on staff meetings is it's not a valid staff meeting unless there's food there. But I digress. I remember I looked at Maddie and I asked her, why don't you go tell your counselor? I mean, that's what she gets underpaid for. But then she looked at me, she said, well, I don't know my counselor the way I know you. See, I see you every day. I see my counselor maybe twice a year. But besides, she only has time for the bad kids or the ones with the big problems. So I knew I had to figure something else out. And here's the biggest thing that I realized that day. Maddie came to me. She didn't go to another teacher. She didn't go to the counselor. She didn't go to anyone else. She came to me. Why? Because she knew me. She trusted me. She felt like I was the one that could help her. So here are some easy tips for when a student comes to you with a problem. I like to call them the 4 E's. First is empathize. Let them know that you know how they feel. In fact, if you've been there before, tell them. Tell them a little bit about your story. Help them understand that they aren't alone and that you know how they feel, and you probably know what they may be thinking too. Next, encourage. Build them up. Tell them that you know they can get through it. You know they have what it takes to make it past this. Even let them know that you're going to help see them through it as much as you possibly can. Third, educate. I mean, that's what you do, right? Show them, teach them exactly what they need to do in order to make it through the situation. And just saying things like, oh, just toughen up, or suck it up, buttercup, that's not the way to do it. Help them understand why things happen the way they did. Tell them what they need to do and exactly how to do it. Help them come up with a plan. What skills do they need to incorporate? What do they need to learn to make it through this? What do they need to change? What do they need to do differently? Educate them. And last, empower them. This is where words turn into action. Give them the tools that they need. Practice with them. Role play. Walk them through the exact scenarios, the exact things that they need to do. And make sure that they can do it before you just send them out into the wild by themselves. Now, it's important to note this too. Make sure you actually take time for your students and your kiddos. There were so many times when I was teaching where a student would come to me with a problem and I would give the class some independent work or let them just practice for a little bit. Then I would take that one student into my office and give them that one-on-one focused attention that they needed. Why? Because to that student, that situation was the most important thing going on in their life at that moment. And by me sacrificing just a couple of minutes of class time and investing that into the student with the focused one-on-one attention, well, it paid off amazingly well in so many ways, as I'm sure you can imagine. Now, I get it. There's always times where you can't stop what you're doing, or you can't stop class, or you can't give the class some busy work. But make sure that that student knows exactly when to come back and see you so that they can have your full, undivided attention and you can fully engage with those 4 E's. Well, that's it, friends. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you want to learn more about the greatest social emotional learning, conflict resolution, and resilience training program for students that's out there today, check out the Squabbles program. And if you want me to come and impact your school or community, either in person or virtually, just let us know and we'll make it happen. I guarantee you'll be glad you did. And until next time, class is dismissed.